So we call this meeting to order for the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee at 4:03 PM. Can I get a roll call, please?
Ernesto Mora,
Hi, Nguyen.
Lester Mascon,
Bill Mays.
Alex Ordosian,
Yolanda McCauley.
Eric Sawaki.
the agenda good as is, I think. No changes.
No changes.
Do we have any public comments?
No.
All right. With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Nguyen and Mr. Mora.
Okay, great, thank you. The first thing I want to pass out is we updated the facility projects.
Okay.
And, at the beginning, when we first did this, it was a lot thicker. But now we narrowed it down to the specific ones that we absolutely have to get done. So with that, I didn't make enough copies, but I'll give you that. And Ernesto, you and I can share.
Okay, I'll share.
I'm okay.
We're good.
I have the one.
Yeah, well, okay, awesome.
So we have one more.
So,
So we're good.
So, like I said, we narrowed it down, we prioritize some of these projects based on our last discussion. So we moved the high deserts for the roof replacement as well as metal art as our year one priority. And each of these roof replacements for each school site, it's about $130,000 for building one, and then another $130,000 approximately for building two. And then year two, so the first year we're looking at $390,000. That doesn't include if we were later on, Ernesto's going to speak a little bit more about some of the options in regards to getting the classroom modernized, so that way we can, if the board decide to transition the kindergarten sections to here, then we want to modernize the classrooms, and Ernesto will elaborate a little bit more later on. Or if you feel that you want to, our option is to move the facility, the modulars to the other school site, then obviously we have to do a little bit more analysis and costs involved. And I think we spoke about that earlier.
I think we rolled that one out pretty much as
Okay,
an option
yeah.
based on what we
Okay.
saw, so I don't think there's any need to dive deeper into that
Okay,
topic.
perfect. All right. And
Do you
then,
agree? Everybody else agree?
and then year two, again, continue with the roof replacements as well, just to get our schools in the event a natural disaster happens. Our schools will be fine. And then year three, again, some of the needs, fixing the quad area with concrete, reseal the classroom floors, new roof as well for high desert in the 7 portable. And then, and again, 330,000. Year four, we're looking at classroom furnitures. These are the ones, it's not critical, but detrimental to the district, but it's something that we should look into, especially with shade structures. Again, at the high school, there is many out there. And then the metal art playground structure. I know that last one, we also spoke about ways to generate revenue.
Right.
And, this is an area for us to discuss, and we can elaborate, and look at ways how we can generate revenue, ongoing sustaining revenues.
Right.
One idea was, is to look at getting donations, but will that be consistent, right? Or we can start charging students for parking. I don't know if we've done that,
So I would say if you want that route, you sell the spots and they can decorate them as like every other school does. The seniors decorate their spots, they sell those spots.
Mhm.
So that's a good fundraiser.
Something similar to that.
Yeah.
We could either put signs up there and they could put whatever they want to do on the signs.
If you do the thing on the ground, all what they do, they take the black sidewalk or
Mhm.
asphalt paint it every year. You let them decorate it, let them do their thing,
Then we see that.
then reseal it again. It's cheap and it's, you sell for a couple $100 or whatever and
I like that.
That's a good idea.
So allow the students to paint
Yeah,
their
it's
parking.
generally only seniors,
Okay,
so it's like a senior privilege.
Who managed that one? See what it's going on.
Have you seen like a lot of schools up in Palm, a lot of schools do it, but
That's cool, it's a good idea.
And just to provide input, or clarity. So years 1 through 3, in terms of needs, the must do is about 900,000 and some change.
Right.
Year 4, the wants, I'm all for fundraising, but the wants, year 4 with inflation will be a
yeah.
little bit
It's gonna be-
north of 623. So fundraising, it's a tough call.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you add all this
Just my
up,
observation.
when you add all this up, it's over, quite well over $1 million. And, even though we narrowed it down
right.
to the specific needs that we need. But what other ideas, you can think of? I know that another school district that I saw, they were selling bricks
Yeah, that's a good.
so
idea.
that they can put it on the wall and they engrave their name and stuff.
Well, the park, they did that, where they had the bricks, and
Oh,
then
they
they
did.
just laid them on the ground, like they have
Uh-huh.
an area, you lay them in the ground.
Yes, so that could be an idea for the high
I
school.
think at the high school, we started doing that as you walk into the main office on
Yeah,
the
there's-
right side.
yeah.
You can see the families that purchased a brick with their
Yeah,
Oh.
last names
Mhm.
engraved on it.
question on the 7 portables for, the high desert, are those leaking at this point or no?
At this point, they have, all of them have patches. They're not leaking.
So
you know,
are we
they're
sure that we're
leaking.
gonna get to year 3 with that? I don't think we will.
That's a good question.
That's
Well,
really.
most of them are metal roofs, so
Okay.
we'll be okay. They're not, metal roofs last a little bit longer.
Yeah, they're metal ones.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're.
Just so that we make
every
sure we're
year.
not doing any interior damage. 'cause
No,
they're not
no, it's
gonna
just
go-
little stains here and there.
But is there any, like, to Bill's point, is there anything that needs to be year
Done
1?
before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, the major ones are there already,
Right.
like, the main buildings, building 1, building 2, and the multi-purpose rooms, those are the ones that had big leaks in them.
I'm glad to see you have the painting of those portables in year
that's
1, 'cause
definitely-
that was definitely gonna be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For
Critical
Metal Arts
problem,
Elementary.
yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So these are all prioritized basically in
Yes.
terms of immediate maintenance.
Yeah, looks,
Yes, that's
looks
correct.
good, looks
Yeah,
like what
I
we're
think,
looking for.
yeah, I think it's perfect. And I think that essentially this is I think as far as a recommendation to the board,
Mhm.
I think the only thing is. Talk to me about the Vasquez shade structure and the playground structure, like those don't. Feel mission critical,
Basically, the playground structure, that one's got, the Metal Arts Elementary's got the original one there since they built the site.
okay,
So it's a little bit, it's faded and it's
Mhm.
outdated. It would be
Functional
nice
still.
to, it's still functional.
I think the shade structure is gonna be critical because there's been a lot of pushback. I've seen a lot of stuff on different
yeah,
forums where. Parents are trying to say it's not safe for the kids to be out there eating and the
Mhm.
whatever, so that one might be. Something, I don't know.
I'd like to propose that we actually move that into year 1.
Shade
As far as the
structure.
recommendation goes,
Mhm.
would you?
I agree.
Anybody,
Cause that,
Yeah.
that could become something more if we don't get it.
Mhm.
and I think we earmarked the new playground structure for Meadow Lark as a fundraiser option, and spend the next 2 to 3 years trying to fundraise for that.
Yeah.
And set it up as a fundraiser project now, and then,
So out of those, the only one you want to move to one would be the Vasquez High School shade
Shade
structure.
structure.
well, I mean, it's a group decision here, so does everybody feel like that's the right?
I feel it's important because based on my experience, when you survey the students, from my other
Yeah.
district. Their top priority is, it's so hot out here.
Right,
Yeah,
They want shade structure, that they have nowhere to hide.
right, and I'm sure if you went to Vasquez and had
Oh,
the
yeah.
same comment, you would get it from everybody there.
Oh, yeah, just hearing from staff over the 3 years that I've been here, as well as the students, it's, they don't have it. So when it gets hot, when it's raining, they're all kind of bunched up in the overhang of the classrooms, doesn't work.
See if we would have taken those solar panels. and
Yeah.
put shades in there. We're not doing that right now.
Move the
Yeah.
location.
Yeah, I tried doing that at that time, but
they weren't having it.
no, didn't go through. So how many shade structures would we want up there?
Well, what did you
That way I
budget,
could-
what did you?
Right
budget?
now,
What size are they?
right now, we were just guessing an estimate. We really haven't gone out there and,
I think,
right now, we have 4 at the high school.
there's 4 shade structures,
In the middle of the campus, I think we have 4 small ones,
You do?
small.
right in the
Yes.
middle in between the campus.
Okay,
Yeah,
So-
so smaller. The 160 would encompass how many shade structures?
I think it would probably
Or
give us
each-
at least,
well,
at least maybe 4
you think that? I don't think so.
Would be 36 by 40.
small ones.
And, no. I can look at the previous quote I got from a vendor, but it's about 36 by 40 and there's 2.
Okay,
We can put out there, and then obviously we have to get bleachers, not bleachers, but.
table, so
Mhm.
just because of the groundwork,
Mhm.
that's where you're gonna have a lot of money in concrete.
Correct.
And we have the
Yeah.
picnic tables, all we have to do is put them underneath.
Yeah, okay.
So we have those, we don't have to purchase those.
I would suggest, or whatever you guys wanna do, but get a couple quotes and see where we're at.
Yeah,
Should we consider changing the budget on that to 200,000 from 160, just so that
Yeah.
it's, we have room to do it right? If we're gonna do it, we might as well do it right.
Right.
And something that'll last.
it requires DSA,
Mhm.
Does it?
yes, it does.
Which I would think would,
That site.
15%, they said,
Yeah.
additional cost for that process.
but I would say it's something that would be approved fairly easy.
Oh, yeah,
because it's
no, that,
for the
that site would
benefit of the
definitely be
kids.
approved.
You'd probably get a pre-approved plans, you can buy pre-approved plans.
Oh, yeah, the contractors have those already,
Yeah.
pre-approved plans for DSA.
Um, So I think we make that change. Then I think it's probably fair to propose to the board. At least the year 1 through 3 stuff is what the recommendation is currently, and then we revisit this in 12 months. And see what the other stuff, would that be? Can we formalize that recommendation so we can put that, not as a decision point, but just as a. Get at least the nod of, see if the group will agree, the board will agree that this needs to get spent and.
And I'm just gonna, just for process purposes.
Yeah.
As the chair for the subcommittee, for the subcommittee report in terms of providing that input to your peers
Mhm.
during the board meeting. And then if they want to go ahead and move on it, then they could go ahead and ask for it to be agendized as a future agenda item in terms of the year 1 costs.
Yeah.
And then we could bring a proposal forward and address it formally as an action item.
Okay, perfect.
Park plans, they make DSA approved shade structures.
Thanks. All right,
Very good.
well done, gentlemen, that was perfect. Exactly what we needed to see and do, so that's good. Yeah, it's improved. Next we have proposals for facility assessment.
So we were gonna look at we brought one up the last time we were here, so this time we're gonna see 2 of them,
2 additional, correct?
2 additional. One vendor, Studio Plus. Okay. Second. You see these vendors are. You can see a little bit better than the one that I presented the last time. They're cut down in sections, exactly what the work scope is. And the amounts. Of course, whatever we decide to do. I'm gonna cut the amount.
Just Reader's Digest version on them.
Mhm.
These are dramatically different in price. So what, is there a scope difference between these two?
There's a work scope is similar to it. Like I said, both of them are giving you the actual work scope of what they want to do. The recommendations that we want, basically, if we want to go a full assessment, then it's going to cost more. If it's just a basic assessment, then it's going to be less. So we tell them what we want to do. If we only want to do getting the basically the classroom sizes, or if you want to go all the way down to where we want to see how much lifetime we have on the AC units, the plumbing, electrical, the whole thing.
Just for clarity, the Cordoba Corporation, in terms of scope of work, enlists 3 schools, the elementary, middle, and high. Studio Plus has the 3 schools, the district office site, as well as when I say Agua Dulce partner, that will be Island, correct?
That's only.
So it's a little bit expanded.
Little bit, $20,000 different or.
Yep.
Less for.
Yes.
$60,000.
And just for sake of discussion, Mr. Mora and Kai, for the tasks and scope of work, right? I know that, we've talked about internally. Are there any aspects of the scope of work that internally we could go ahead and either we have the information at our fingertips? Is it something that we could take care of in terms of an assessment within the staff and teams that we have to lessen the scope of work, which then will lessen the potential fiscal impact?
We could definitely give some of that information to the contractors to lower the amount.
So then we could take a look at internally. For example, evaluating current conditions. I'm just, don't quote me, but any one of these elements, if there's things that, we could go ahead and take a look at, cross out. Whatever is going to be the final recommendation, if there's a recommendation made and approved by the board, then we could go ahead and communicate that to the vendor. Or well, prior to,
Yeah,
The
we could definitely get a
recommendations.
hold of them, tell them, we just want you guys to do this.
A and
this,
B
this,
and not C.
we'll take
or-
care of the rest.
Okay.
I mean, the Studio Plus is certainly more detailed in what they're talking about providing, and there's hard deliverables in this quote. If they're planning on delivering the same thing here, I think we need to see the descriptive work here. I mean, they're talking about ADA assessment,
Right.
fire suppression system, all assessments on all those with recommendations, where this is more general saying,
Yep.
we're gonna evaluate the current conditions and tell you how they are instead of
The
actually.
Studio Plus is the one that built VHS.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Cordova was recommended by Michael Rona.
So Studio Plus knows what they did wrong.
who's written my favorite?
Cordova.
Yeah.
Is one of our previous guys that was working for the school district as well. We reached out to him and he gave us the name of this company.
I think one that we can eliminate is by HVAC because another vendor is doing the HVAC assessments, putting the new.
Yeah, we
pictures
could
in.
definitely take off the air
There you
conditioning units.
That's,
Do we have a vendor currently handling our fire systems and fire life?
Yes, we
Yeah,
have,
so they're doing their.
we have-
or
it's universal alarms. Those are the ones that do all of our fire systems and security systems.
Free, to be honest, especially if it's gonna equal a project for them. Same with the HVAC folks.
yeah,
Yeah, because they're the ones that are walking with fire department on a yearly basis, so they know exactly what
yeah.
the fire department's requiring, so.
Yeah, they'll help us out with that part. We can take care of the fire part as well. Cause I'm involved with that with the fire department company.
So maybe, yeah, I like some of the elements that are in here, we just need to get some of that scope work into this one. So that it's actually detailing out, so I mean, I would try to think about what you, I think you have a little more work to do on this to get it in more of a condition
Okay.
where we can look at something, but. Think about what you want the actual deliverable to be, and we can even brainstorm that a little bit right now, right? So obviously, we wanna, this evaluation, whether we're subcontracted or whether it's a mixture of contractors. Obviously, we're gonna wanna have, overall assessments of the buildings, but
ADA is important.
fire life safety, ADA,
Mhm.
any structural issues, that sort of thing. But this is really just about more systems, buildings, infrastructure assessment,
You
right?
want fire, ADA, and what else you want on that work scope?
I mean, a lot of it's in here,
Yeah.
right? So.
I don't know what, like this. Creation. If these guys are the ones that built this, then why are they giving us, why are they telling us creation of as-built? You should have already given us those as-built. Why are you, existing soils and geological? They should already have that. This is, we shouldn't
Yeah.
be paying for
No.
them to give us all this stuff that they already have from
At
being
least
the
for
contract.
Vasquez, at least for Vasquez.
At least
Right, for
Vasquez,
Vasquez, yeah.
Yeah. What about the other buildings though?
Right, the other ones, I
Yeah.
guess, but
Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
good,
even that,
good point.
They have all that in file as well, for VHS.
that's, we're not gonna get anything
No.
out of existing geo. We're not building anything, we're not doing anything else, there's no reason for us to have that report.
Mhm.
We should already have existing as-bills for all these buildings, if we don't
have-
at this point.
Mhm. No, we have a whole room full of this. So we have that already for all sites.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're working under the assumption on this one that we were gonna put looking at putting the new classrooms over there at Meadowlark, and that's not. In the plan at the moment, so that kind of.
I mean, that would go along with that, scope of work,
Yeah.
not with this.
Correct. Yeah, hmm. I think when we were talking about assessment as well, I think we were thinking more of, I think more we were thinking about, classroom expansion, that sort of thing when we were talking about that,
So
so
it's not necessarily.
I don't know that this part's necessary right now, at least not from.
No, that was the whole, yeah, that was the whole point of getting these
Right.
put together because we were looking for floor space.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly, and I
But-
think you guys have solved that with the option of,
Mhm.
For short term, yeah.
yeah, short term for sure, so that. I think that makes this stuff kind of go away, unless there's something specific you feel like needs to be assessed. Beyond what you've already done, if not, I would just suggest we use our existing contractors to make recommendations for upgrades to our current systems that are. And maybe they can do the same thing, here's what you should do, need do, nice to have sort of
Mhm.
thing from them.
Okay.
Then utilize your existing subcontractors, but I appreciate the effort
Yeah.
though.
Thank you, thanks. Thank you for that input. Very good.
All right, now to the big one, modernization, space, maximization, movement in classrooms. You're already done that. He gets things
It's all
done, you're
taken
not
care
looking, all of a sudden, everything looks great.
We're almost there. So these are the estimates for 3 classrooms. Get them up and running at the district office.
Yeah.
$31,875 for 3 classrooms. That's to put painting, flooring, some of them don't have ceiling tiles. Fixing the restrooms on one of the buildings. It's
Fantastic.
quite a bit of work on.
Yeah, but the number's great.
Yeah.
That's a.
Do we have any
cheaper
other
than the
numbers?
assessment.
No, this is the first one. I'm gonna get 3 quotes. This is just to have
We'll
an
take this.
idea of how much it's gonna cost.
No, I mean, this is. good
Yeah, I
number,
always
but
gather
was
up 3
yeah.
quotes, so we're gonna have 3 quotes from 3
Yeah.
different vendors.
So just to clarify,
And-
because, you know, we upload this to our website in terms of the subcommittee recordings. Just to preface that, Meadowlark, in terms of space impact, is a top priority between the 3 sites for fall of 25 through 26. You know, business M&O, you put some quotes together, looking at different scenarios of portables being either leased and taken to Meadowlark, or taking the existing portables from the Acton site, moving that to Meadowlark. And so taking a look at option 3, how the, you know, takes care of floor space concerns at Meadowlark with the least fiscal impact, which we're looking at now in terms of the estimate, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
I'd like to present that as if we could ask you to present that at the next board meeting. Is that possible, to present those 3 options with this being the option that we're recommending,
Mhm.
I think that would be fantastic.
So we typically bring forward, yes, so we typically bring forward the recommended proposal. But in terms of, clarification and setting the stage, we could talk about the three
The options
options.
we
and then-
considered with the
right,
estimated budgets. I think you're gonna find things that you don't know when you're doing this. You should probably change the ask to 50,000 on this.
Yes,
So
it's,
that you-
it's gonna be, we're gonna go a little bit higher than that. We were
Yeah.
just going off of the actual proposal
Understood.
7.
Not
So 50,000's, definitely, we are gonna find stuff here.
You're gonna find stuff, things are gonna come up with.
Have you used these guys before?
Yes, we have.
And, just to provide shed some more light in terms of, the planning phase
Mhm.
internally. We got the team together in terms of the planning for fall of 25. We met last Friday. Including administration, site, district office, to talk about, steps in preparation. And then the usage of the classrooms, potentially for fall of 25 at the main Metal Art campus, as well as personnel needs here at this site to encompass the growth. So we're all moving forward.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. And I think we, so we put forward the year 1 through 3 as the recommended, capital outlay to accomplish these projects here. And then this as well. Well done, Dylan.
Mhm.
That's good. Is everybody? Do we need to vote on any of this, or do we, no?
Mm-mm.
Does anybody have any, feel like that's the right step forward? Any dissenting remarks on that?
Alex, Yolanda.
For sure. That brings
Just
us
one-
to our next topic, which is future agenda items. Next steps, next meeting. So I think for our next meeting, we should start looking at what the wants of the community are as far as what they would like to see different with the school district, what they're interested in having. So, a lot of that, it's not unfunded items.
I was gonna mention, I know for some, they're surveyed out per se,
Yeah.
but it'll be, surveying our community and, we always enlist the help of IT. Our wonderful folks at IT in terms of developing like a Google survey and putting that out so that could be a discussion point for January.
I think maybe if we could all spend some time just, doing a little bit of groundwork, legwork, just to get the ideas of what staff may think, and then we can come up with a menu of options of things that seem to come up, and then we can decide on the list of things that go out there, to the world as, like, hey, well, if we had unlimited budget and we could just do whatever we wanted to do, like, what would the community want for the school districts? And
Mhm.
Dr. Hawkins gonna go find some grant money and get it all paid.
There you go.
No pressure. I haven't seen it for infrastructure, so doesn't mean that it's not out there.
Is there anything else that we should be trying to accomplish? And some of the things we could probably pull from. Playground structure could probably be included in something like that, but if what do we feel like we need to tackle next in this group? Is there anything specific?
I think we gotta start working on getting the old admin building up and running.
Okay,
So that way we could free up bungalows that we have out there occupied by staff right now.
okay.
That way in the future, we have open space for students. And I already have estimates for those as well. A lot of that work we could do in-house, so it wouldn't cost us as much.
So let's talk about what that would mean for the benefit to the school district as well. Does that mean that we could entertain another grade level coming back here and then
Basically.
potentially 5th grade going back to
'Cause
High Desert or something like that? Or
that
back
would
to
probably be
Mount Lebanon?
possible, because right now it's just a waste of space. It's a whole building not being occupied.
Okay,
I'm already gonna put a new roof on it. We just have to put flooring and paint and furniture.
Just based on that one area, topic, you know. I would assume, in terms of assessing, putting a survey out to the community needs, that may come up in terms of, movement, because we're talking about movement, right?
Mhm.
If we're talking about 3 sections of kinder coming here and expanding the early childhood center, I'm only anticipating that movement of 5th grade will come up because I've heard it at PTO and booster meetings, so, in the past.
Well, that's all I have.
Maybe we could ask our friends over at the other subcommittee to consider what they would want for a long-term planning as far as, where students are housed, what cohorts stay
Mhm.
together. I think it's important that I think 5th and 6th grade go well together,
Mhm.
which kind of, you almost want to look at the possibility of keeping 5th and 6th together, and moving both grades back over. If you were to create enough space over here for it to be
Mhm.
like up to 2nd grade was here or something like that, just spitballing on it. It's not, but that would, I know, no support for the cohorts to remain together, and I think it makes sense with KK kindergarten, that makes sense for that cohort to
Sure.
remain together and
Yeah.
kind of have some more friends to play with.
I'll be happy.
As far as future meeting agenda items, in the area of finance, I know that, in the past, we've been discussing internally about deficit spending,
Mhm.
and then, potentially bringing, the topic here in terms of deficit spending mitigation efforts.
I think that would be a great topic to spend the next meeting on.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cost control would be a excellent topic to explore.
Cost control.
Well, just, I mean, is there any sort of process we can go through to explore what we're paying for things, that services that we pay for? So I know there's, in my time on the board, we've approved a lot of software expenses that create recurring costs.
Mhm.
Maybe we can be looking at the usage of the software products, make sure there's something that we should be paying for. What we're paying for our phone system, things like that, like when was the last time we actually,
Maybe something's outdated that's not being utilized as much.
well, maybe we could take a look at everything, maybe we haven't put out to bid or competitively priced in the last 3 years and see what the high impact items are. Technology changes quickly, so
Oh, yeah.
there may be options to do things differently. I can tell you from just just visually, just looking around at things, right? I drive by the Vasquez sign and it's always on. Even at night, it's always on, right? It consumes power, it's gonna burn up the usable life of the sign, you're gonna replace it for, because there's a number of hours those things work for.
Mhm.
You
Um,
can put a timer on it to make it turn off
Mhm.
over a
Yeah.
certain amount of time.
sometimes electronics don't like that very much, but I'm sure we could at least shut off the displaying light. I mean, they're just very small
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
but. And it's just things you notice as you're walking around,
But it's
like,
a theme, yeah, of
when I go to,
effort.
I'm up at, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but whenever I'm over at, when kids were playing soccer over there at Meadowlark, all the air conditioning units were running on the portables a lot of times. When you're walking around, you hear them
Yeah.
kicking off and on, right? So
Yeah.
usable life, filters, change flicker, power, that sort of thing. So things like that, I
Yeah,
think it all adds up pretty quickly if we start looking at.
and we already took care of, I sent out an email to all the maintenance guys to make sure all the AC units are programmed to turn off at a certain time
There
and
you
turn
go.
back on.
Yes.
There's access control
Yep.
programs that will
Yeah.
do all that too, so.
Yeah, so right now they're all programmed to turn off Monday through Friday.
Nice.
I mean, you can get an access control program and go back to your desk
Yep,
and
that would cost.
show that everything's doing what it's supposed to.
Set the max.
They could turn our air off at
that
1.
sort of
Hey,
thing.
when I drive to work, that's how I tell if the power's out at the school, it's all the lights are on. School. There you go, school today.
But I'm sure there's things like services we're paying for, that we could probably look at. Changing if we wanted to. I know we moved to a 1 device policy a long time ago at our companies, and Now you just, there's no more phone in the desk, everybody's either,
The city of LA did that too. All their inspectors have cell phones up. They don't have desk phones, everything's.
you get one or the other. You get a cell phone or you get a desk phone, you don't get both anymore. Things like that, those are all just
Mhm.
things that we could look at, best practices from other school districts, and just see if there's any space for us or room for us to make changes.
We could set up an internal, yet another meeting, but it's important. An internal meeting with department leads, including IT, just to take a look at the software. Doing the software assessment, right? You know, usage. You know, is there any efficacy at this point in time? And we could just run reports and assess internal
Usage,
usage.
see who's logging in, when, how long, and maybe we're just reducing licenses on something that we're already paying for potentially.
Yeah, nowadays it's all software as a service, SaaS, so,
Yeah,
you know, there's no more client.
yeah, yeah, you're not paying for that, but you don't have to pay for upgrades anymore, so that always helps.
True.
with your SaaS.
Mhm.
But I'm sure if we look at enough of those things, we could probably find ourselves some,
Savings.
to mitigate some savings, and if it's. You know, I think if we could, right, we would wanna make enough. You'd wanna have enough revenue and enough, keep your costs limited enough to where this was like. The most competitive place to work in the entire, you know, LA school district if you could, so. If you find, you can find $100,000 a year in that sort of savings, and it just gives us
Absolutely.
more flexibility for other stuff later.
If we're half the show structure,
Yeah. there you go.
something.
Good point, Dr. Saki, and that was good to, that's something we would certainly focus on the facility side, because I think that's our happy place.
No, just, yeah, well, you know, in terms of finance, I know it's always on our minds. We're always
Oh, yeah.
discussing it. And Kai's been very, very diligent in terms of putting things together, so we could formalize that and bring it forward to the subcommittee.
And we wanna look at ongoing
Yeah.
savings and
OpEx.
through attrition, through reducing software licenses, like you said, yeah.
And I think what you talked about with, you know, getting rid of all those old buses, now that we have the new ones, is a great way to reduce costs for once, we're not doing maintenance on those vehicles. And then,
That's a fundraiser.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then, you know, getting rid of them while they're still in operating condition.
Yeah.
Because they sit out there for 2 years, and the batteries go dead, and the tires go flat, no one's gonna wanna buy it, but.
Yeah.
You move it now while it's sitting there, because. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else we think we should try to tackle in the next meeting?
No, I think,
Yeah.
a good agenda for next.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think so
it's
too.
funny here.
Probably takes me to get through it. So is it reasonable, though, that we can present these items at the next board meeting? That we discussed?
For the.
to
For
get 'em on
the
the agenda,
refurbishment,
yeah.
the refurbishment of the portables, yes, we need to get that on the agenda by tomorrow morning. Cause there's the agenda review Thursday, tomorrow. And then we post by Monday. So, I mean, it's already here. If you could just work with Yolanda to get this on there. And then this could be an action item, and we could go ahead and discuss it, you know, the overview, and then have our trustees take a vote. So, yeah.
So we'll specifically vote on this one.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So, yeah,
And then this one will get added to we'll introduce it and get it added to the agenda for the next.
probably for January.
For
Yeah,
January.
yeah. Mhm. There you go.
When is that meeting in January? Do we have a date on that?
January 23rd.
Okay.
Right?
Alright.
Can't remember today's date. Don't ask me how.
It's not the week of the 13th, right?
No.
Thank you. We will adjourn this meeting at 4:41. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.